Good morning, guys. Welcome back to the channel. Wanted to do a quick video today. Sorry about not posting as much content as I normally do, but as most of you guys know, I'm still waiting for my new boat to come in. Should be here, I'm hoping mid-December. I was actually hoping towards the end of November, but looks like it's gonna be more towards mid-December. So I'll be able to kind of start making some more videos for you guys when I get my boat. I've still been fishing, just not as much. Been going out with my buddy Adam and my brother Scott at Saguaro mostly. And the bite's not that great. You can still catch a couple big ones here and there, but it hasn't been that great lately. So not really missing out on anything, but I wanted to go over, just do a short video, go over a new rod that I bought. It's a Megabass Jerkbait rod. This is the 110 stick. It's a Destroyer P5 series. And the one thing I wanted to go over was, well, I guess you can't really see much with the cover on. One thing I wanted to go over is why, or is it worth it to spend so much money on a rod? And my answer, honestly, is yeah, for a jerkbait rod. If you're into like high-end gear, and if you're into jerkbait fishing, throwing a jerkbait around is not something I do too much, but we are getting into jerkbait season, so that's one reason why I picked this rod up, is I am going to do a lot of jerkbait in this winter, and wanted to just get into it and dial it in more. I've thrown a lot of jerkbaits, and I wanted to compare this Megabass rod with the rod I used to use for a jerkbait, and man, what a complete difference. You could get these Megabass Destroyer series. I think they have the Destroyer USA series, and that one's called, shoot, what's the name of that one? I'll have to link it in the description below, but there is a cheaper version. It's one of their older versions of jerkbait rod, and that one I looked into as well. But the reason why I picked this one, this is the Destroyer P5 110 stick. The reason why I picked this rod is because the first rod, or the best rod I found so far that I've been using for a jerkbait, is a Curado. This is a Shimano Curado I was using. This is a medium power, fast action, and this is a 610, I think. Yeah, 610 Shimano Curado. And this rod was great. You know, the problem with it was, even though it was a shorter 610, every time I would go to jerk, I for the most part it'd be fine, but I'd still hit the side of the boat, I'd still hit the water here and there, which, you know, isn't the end of the world, but at the same time it didn't make throwing a jerkbait that enjoyable. And the action was just not perfect for a jerkbait, and I knew that. It was just the best rod that I found to throw a jerkbait. And it is a great rod. I'd recommend it if you're just, you know, if you throw jerkbaits here and there and you're not really trying to dial in the jerkbait and get more in tune with it. So that is a great rod. But if you want to really tune in to the jerkbait fishing, this Destroyer P5 110 stick, I'm in love with it, man. It's awesome. This is a 6.5, so it's definitely shorter than what you would normally see people throwing for a jerkbait rod, and that's typically how Megabass does it. I think they gear their rods more towards like the Japanese market, which is like you know, a lot of shore fishing, stuff like that. So just to run over how I set it up, I have this on a Daiwa Tatula 100, 7:1 ratio, and I got 20-pound test braid, the Power Pro braid, and I typically will throw like a 10-pound test, the FC Sniper 10-pound test fluorocarbon as a leader. And what I've been throwing on this rod, it handles just about any jerkbait that I've thrown on it. I've been using this rod for a little over a month now. Like I said, it's not quite jerkbait season, but I've been testing it out a lot. So right now, I have a 110 re-range on there, Jackal re-range, and I've thrown that quite a bit. I throw a lot of Vision 110s. I've thrown the 110 plus 1 on it. I've thrown the 110 plus 2 on it just to see how it handles. And it handles amazing. I mean, I was surprised how light of an action this is, that it handled the Vision 110 plus 2, because that's a deep diving jerkbait. And it handled it just well. So a few things I wanted to go over is the handle. The handle is just, I mean, the feel of this handle is way better than any other rod that I've had, especially if you're talking jerkbaits. They actually weighted the butt of this rod. I think most of the Megabass series rods, they weight the butt of. And I'll do a lot more other reviews. I'm gonna start picking up more of these Megabass rods, so keep an eye on the channel, and I'll review them as I get them and try them out. Because there's just not a lot of information out there on the Megabass rods. When I was going to purchase a few of them, I just was looking around and didn't find much information, so I figured I'd do some reviews on it. So anyways, the handle's great. They have this, like, I don't know what you'd call it, like a grip here, that you actually, when you put your fingers on here and grip the rod, you feel the rod. So I mean, the sensitivity is amazing. You obviously don't really need the sensitivity on a jerkbait rod, because you know when you get a bite, most likely, but it's on most of their rods. So if you're getting like a jig rod or a Texas rig rod, the sensitivity is there. Your fingers are right on the rod. And this is what they call a 5D graphite system that they use, and it's just the feel of this rod. It is super light compared to my Curado Shimano. Super light rod, and they have this really cool keeper here, not keeper, what am I thinking, the reel seat. I don't know how they built that. It's not, I don't think that's metal. I think that's like a cap that they put on the original piece that they might have machined. I'm not sure, but I thought it was going to be really sturdy. The one problem I have with this rod is it doesn't come with a hook keeper. So what I've been doing is I've been using these little holes as my hook keeper. And what had happened was, after doing that so much, I don't know if it was a defect in the rod, but let's see if I could zoom in here. You could see there's like a little chip right there, which isn't a big deal. I mean, I think that just happened from the hook maybe, but I've been testing other areas on there and it hasn't happened to any other area. So it might have just been a defect to this rod, but honestly, not a huge deal. That's just a little minor thing that happened, which, you know, I was still kind of surprised about spending so much money on a rod and that happened, but you know, it doesn't mess with the functionality of the rod or anything like that. So they got their Destroyer logo on here, really nice. They have their ratings just like a normal rod. This is rated for a 1/4 ounce to 3/4 ounce. Like I said, handles the Vision 110, 110 plus 1 plus 2. And that's about all I've tested on this. I haven't tried many other jerkbaits. I usually only use Megabass and the Jackal re-range jerkbait anyways. So if you start looking into the details of this rod, you could see, I mean, just the amount of detail they put in it. All the little threading is perfect. I mean, yeah, I look at my Curado rod and there, you don't even see any threading until like the last 2 eyelets. And I mean, the threading on the Curado is like all over the place. It's crooked. It's like thicker in some spots, thinner in the other. I mean, each piece of thread on this rod is perfectly straight and just so detailed that I can't believe it. They use like less epoxy than most rods. The balance and the weight of this rod is amazing. It's like holding nothing in your hand, especially when you pair it up with a lighter reel. This is, like I said, it's a Tula 100, so it's a pretty light, compact reel. So the whole combo is just, it's super, super light. They put great guides on here, and the parabolic bend on this rod versus the Curado, I don't know if I could show you here, But if you look at how this rod bends, see if I can get a good view on the camera here. But we're bending all the way. More than half of this rod has a bend in it. More than half of it. When I do that with my Curado, I don't know how well I could do this without a reel on there. I don't have much weight, but if you could see my Curado, the parabolic bend, I mean, you have the tip and that's it. So you got like the first quarter of the rod has the bend in it, where the Megabass is like half the rod has the bend. So when you actually hook a fish on this Megabass rod, I mean, I have a hard time seeing it come off with the amount of bend it's got. It just seems perfect for a jerkbait. So, you know, is it worth it to spend this much money on a jerkbait rod? In my opinion, yeah, it is, because it just makes throwing a jerkbait that much more fun. I mean, I could throw this jerkbait all day, to whereas on the Curado, I would throw it for like an hour and then I would just get sick and, you know, and tired of, my wrist would start hurting jerking the rod so much. And this rod and reel it's like nothing, you know, so I could really throw a jerkbait all day and not be wore out from it. I think that's really about all I wanted to go over with this rod. It does come with this nice little rod sleeve, which I don't typically use. I use my own rod sleeves that I buy. They're really nice neoprene rod sleeves, which I'll link in the description as well. And they, you know, that neoprene cover covers the reel, the rod, all in one sleeve, so you don't have two different sleeves, one for the reel, one for the rod to throw around in the boat. But yeah, pretty cool rod sleeve that it comes with if you like that kind of storage, but you won't be able to fit a reel or nothing. You'd have to take the reel off and just put the rod there. Also comes with a little pouch in the back so you keep your receipt for the warranty information and all that stuff in there. So that's pretty cool. And yeah, so that's the P5. You know, really great rod. I've heard some stories about the cork not being the greatest cork. Honestly, it looks like the same cork that's on my Curado, and I haven't had any problems with that cork, so I don't see having any issues with it, especially if it's like you're storing it in a boat or in a garage. And I just don't see a lot of issues with that. So anyways, if you guys are looking for an awesome jerkbait rod, this is it, man. This is the best jerkbait rod I've ever used, ever seen. Like I said, it's a little short, 6'5", but I like that. After using it, I was a little worried about getting it, and I was like, I don't know, 6'5", but I started thinking about it, and as I'm using my 6'10", I'm still hitting the side of the boat sometimes, hitting the water sometimes, which, like I said, it's not the end of the world, but if you're gonna throw a jerkbait all day, it's just so much nicer to have a rod set up perfectly for that jerkbait. And this is it. So thanks for watching the video, guys. I will do some more of these. I have one other rod that I'll review here in a little bit. It's the Mark 48 Megabass Destroyer, which I've been using for a while as well. So I'll do a review on that one. And like I said, I'll start getting some more content out probably towards the end of December when I get my boat, and we'll do, you know, some boat reviews and stuff like that as well, along with the normal fishing videos. So again, thanks for watching the video. If you like the video, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you're not subscribed, and we'll have some more videos coming your way. Thanks for watching, guys.